Hello, YouTube. This is Insane Monster, and this is part one of What If Asta Was Half Ghost. If you haven't seen part zero, I recommend watching that now so that you're all caught up with part one. So, with that being said, hit it. Now then, start at the beginning of the anime, where we go ahead and everybody is going to the grimoire ceremony who are of age to get their grimoires, with Asta having the four-leaf clover grimoire he's been carrying around with him in his bag. As the mage there who runs the ritual gives an explanation and a speech, he then starts the ceremony. Everybody gets their grimoires and, receives the four-leaf clover grimoire, shocking everybody with their eyes on him. While this happens, grimoire Asta always carries around floats out of his bag quickly and comes in front of his face. Asta grabs it as he smirks, thinking, eBay. Him and walk out, which is then yelled at by some nobles, stating that they're going to take his grimoire and burn it. This ends up like in canon, with Asta stating, might have been a bit much to handle these guys. Which then we have change shooting out, as it binds and Asta goes intangible to sink into the ground to avoid. He can still use some of his ghost powers while in human form, but there are some he can't use. With the chain mage walking up, he states, huh, what the hell was with that brat? It doesn't matter. All I'm here is to take your grimoire. Make a nice profit on the black market as an art piece. Before he can grab Yuno's grimoire from him, he finds himself being kicked in his side from somebody from behind him, Asta, sending him flying away. As the chain mage gets furious, he says he's going to kill him. Charging up a magical attack, we see Cujo on the roof of the Grimoire Tower being held back by Wolf, stating, calm down. We have to see how the young prince fares. He has his grimoire, though don't understand how that happens. Due to the fact Wolf would understand that those with magic should get grimoires, but Asta doesn't have any. As the chain mage is powering up, his grimoire opens, revealing the sword. He grabs it and uses it to destroy his attack. With the chain mage freaking out, he yells, "What are you?" As Asta raises his free hand, stating, doesn't really matter now, does it? Firing off an ecto beam, hitting the chain mage and slamming him through the wall. Not killing him, but he is a bit burnt and most likely has a concussion due to his injury. The chains restraining are released, as boasts that he could have handled that guy on his own, with Asta remarking, oh yeah, sure. as they smirk at one another, reiterating their vow that one of them would be the Wizard King, bumping fists. As they go over the 6 months of training, we see Asta meet the Diamond Mage who taught him a little bit about swordsmanship. And when the mages come over to capture his teacher, Asta helps out, fully transforming, as well with Cujo and Wolf giving a hand. His teacher's pretty surprised by his power and asked what his magic was and what's with them. Asta thinks and just states, I have ghost magic. Comes in pretty handy, really, as he scratches the back of his head. He's somewhat skeptical, but accepts this, since magic can be all kinds of things in their world. So, yeah, after they part ways, this was 3 months into the 6 month training period before the Magic Knight exam. As he continues training in the wilderness, he hears some hoofs clacking, some armor clinking against itself, and a voice behind him stating, Young Prince. Looks behind him, gets ready for a fight, fully transforming. The knight jumps down off of his nightmarish horse with giant fangs and big bat wings as Asta states, You're here to attack me? Well, to be fair, you're the first literal nightmare-looking thing I've seen. With the knight stating, Well, that's a compliment considering I'm known as the Fright. He kneels down in front of Asta, stating, I am here on behest of your father, who has been keeping watch over you when he can. He saw your ability you gained through your grimoire, anti-magic, as he stands and states, He sent me here for remainder of your training until the Magic Knight exam, mostly because you could use some training in how to use a sword in combination with your ghost abilities. And who better than me, the Fright Knight? Asta is still somewhat hesitant. The Wolf and Cujo show up, with Cujo getting big, tackling the Fright Knight and licking him insanely, with a big grin on his face, with Wolf stating, Fright Knight. So, is that why you're here? Not a bad choice. With Fright Knight getting Cujo off of him, he states, Wolf, you didn't really seem to assist against that chained mage, did you? Wolf shrugged his shoulders, stating, The young prince is plenty strong on his own, and I wanted to see what he could do, his grimoire. After all, he needs to be strong. Can't really get that if he never challenges himself, now can he? The Fright Knight doesn't seem very amused, but states, That is a fair point, as he gets up, wiping the ghost dog drool off of him, stating, So then, as he draws his sword, pointing it toward Asta, shall we begin? Asta looks at Wolf as Wolf states, It's fine. He is one of your father's most loyal retainers. As he just gets fed up, stabbing the sword into the ground, stating, Okay, then how come I never met my father? White Knight state, You technically did, but you're so young you don't remember. However, things aren't as they seem. clockwork has moved in odd ways, which makes the king fear that something bad is coming. And with things in the ghost zone the way that they are, it's not looking good either. Instance, we still haven't captured all of the incredibly powerful entities that escaped their seals, and some of the criminals who broke out and went to unseal them. Mostly, we've been trying to contain them one by one, which is taking some time, considering we have to locate them first. Asta asked, "Okay, so how bad is it really?" He states, "Well, there are a few ghosts missing from the ghost zone. At least they haven't been found, nor have we found a trace of them. Find them. Each one is highly dangerous. And a ruler of a sanctuary known as Oregon has actually gone missing. After after his disappearance, it seems as though his younger sister seems to have left out of being thought of as weak by their servants. Things aren't going so well. There was an attempt to find her. Her name is actually Dorothy, and she has actually gone missing as well after running off. So things are getting more and more chaotic, at least when in terms of the minor natural denizens and spirits inside the ghost zone. As for the larger threats, they are somewhat also instigating chaos among the lesser ones. So not only is there trying to subjugate the more powerful entities, there's also trying to contain the chaos among the less strong entities within the ghost zone. It's somewhat madness there. But over the years, we've made quite some headway. Okay. So, given that, and the fact that you're going to become a magic knight, there is a little leeway for me to be here in order to train your father's orders, as well as your mother. His eyes widen and state, "But she died." The Fright Knight laughs, thinking, "Oh, I didn't understand that he didn't expect this to happen. You do realize that your father is the king of ghosts, as well as coming from the ghost zone. You, and after bearing you as her son, with the father being our king pariah, did you really expect that not even a scrap of ecto energy would be infused into her soul? Because of this ecto energy bound to her soul, she was drawn into the ghost zone. Though, I believe birthing a half ghost might have affected her progression. She should have become a full ghost instead of just a specter after a few months or so. However, it was like she went through a long incubation period. It is never happened before. But after emerging, she was actually quite stronger than the average ghost after being appearing in the ghost zone for the first time as a new full ghost. It's quite odd to say the least. I'm not sure if I can explain it properly I'm not even sure how exactly this incubation works. For all, there is no recording ever of this happening. But no, she's technically dead, but has taken a new physical form within the ghost zone. Similar to me, Wolf, and Cujo, once the time is right, you could meet her again. However, the ghost zone has already recognized her as Pariah's queen, so her leaving would be noticed. Asta is saddened by this, but he smirked, looking at his grimoire, stating, "Meet her again. Okay, I guess we'll have to wait." As Asta then asked, "So what ghosts are missing?" He isn't sure about what to tell him, since some of these guys are seriously dangerous. But he states, well, for starters, the one that could be most dangerous is over is overgrown or overroot. I forget the plant ghost name, but basically he states that this ghost is actually highly dangerous, especially in the world of the living, able to control plants as well as extend himself, growing more and more. Though, if he has gotten into the living world, he seems to be restraining himself highly. It's most unusual, especially for someone like him. Is considered the most dangerous ghosts that the ghost zone's ever seen. More than that, there's also Vortex, and a few others. Well, most notably would be Nightmare, or at least some people call him Nightmare. I don't know his original name, but due to his power, he more or less can force people into the dream world, where he can cause them extreme terror, gaining more and more power through this. I, they shouldn't be a problem. From my knowledge, none of them are able to open up a gate on their own, so they should be good. As the training commences, we get over to the part where and Asta leave Ha's village. After going a good distance away, Asta whistles, calling Cujo, but asking, "What are you doing?" Asta smirks, stating, "We're getting a ride." As he asks Cujo if they can have a ride, he barks excitedly and grows massive. As they get on, states, "This is kind of weird riding a giant green ghost dog." With Asta smirking, saying, "Yeah, but it's exciting, isn't it?" As they ride him to get to the capital, they do get off before reaching the capital before they could actually see them, as Cujo shrinks down. While walking, Cujo and Wolf go invisible. As asked, "How exactly are you gonna do the test? It might get complicated if you fully transform in front of them." Asta thinks for a moment and states, "Well, I guess I should probably get into a Magic Knight squad first before any of that. I can probably explain it once I get into the Magic Knight squad later." shrugs his shoulders, stating, "Fine, just don't get yourself into trouble." Once they get there, they register with that, being completely void of anti-magic birds, but also being swarmed by them, only to then have them just run away from a invisible wolf growling at them. While he walks around, he accidentally bumps into Yami. As Yami goes to grab his head, he avoids, keeping out of Yami's reach. Though Yami realizes something. This kid's key is weird. Like it's in constant flux of being alive and dead. The hell? As he looks at Asta, asking if he can check something. Asta hesitates and states, what? Yami takes two fingers and places it on his neck, feeling the warmth of his body as well as his pulse in his neck. He just states, "Huh, you're a weird one, aren't you?" Causing Asta to just be confused by this. Yami is then called over by Fenrir that they should hurry, that they and that he shouldn't be messing with the examinees. Now, once the test begins, like in canon, Captain Vengeance gives everybody a broom to use. Though Asta unfortunately cannot use his flying ability without transforming, and transforming would probably bring up some uncomfortable questions. Wolf whispers to Asta in his invisible state that he can help him out with this. So, Asta stands on the broom, and Wolf goes partially intangible while he is also invisible, lifting him up with the broom, causing the illusion of flight. As he goes near to Yuno states, "That seems like cheating, don't you think?" But Asta whispers, "Well, I can fly without a broom, no problem. But, like you said, it might be somewhat of a problematic and a lot of questions I can't properly answer if I transform, remember?" With, just sighing, stating fine. After landing, next was the accuracy test, where they had to shoot a target. Moving target, mind you. As the targets were flying around, Asta just charged up some energy into his finger and blasted a few targets. Next was the creation portion. He's used to this one as he creates some echo energy into his palm, ripping it, forming it into a sword, and ends up passing. He still ends up with Seke, who sees him as a nobody from a no-name village and challenges him. After Seke states that he should just give up already and that he's going to destroy Asta. This obviously angers Asta as well as Kujo, as they went to their different sides of the area. Asta told them to leave him be, he'll take care of himself. As the match begins, Asta blitzes towards Seke, phasing through his magic, which is possible for a half ghost to do in human form without transformation. as he's now inside the sphere standing in front of Seke. Seke panics with Asta punching him straight in the face, which causes Seke to lose concentration, breaking his spell. He then tries to fire magic at Asta as he pulls out his anti-magic sword and accidentally hits it with the flat of the blade, not really focusing on swordsmanship since he's really angry at this guy, sending it back at Seke, causing him to fly back into the wall. Afterwards, he gives a little speech about how he's going to be the Wizard King and he didn't come here to play around like him. Afterwards, Yuno's fight goes similar as in canon, as we now go to the uh, selection portion. Yuno still goes into the Golden Dawn as we get to Asta, with some of the magic knights not being so clear on what his magic is. As Legolion stands up and asks Asta what's his magic. Asta states ghost magic. They think about this for a moment and figuring that it might actually be true since he phased through uh, Seke's magic without being invisible, like it would happen with Gelder's magic. Though they were unsure about him given that sword that just sent Seke's attack back at him. Though Yami is too interested by this, and while they're thinking, Yami raises his hand, stating, well, nobody else is gonna take him. I'm gonna take this interesting one for myself. As Asta is just agreeing with this, stating, I'm fine with that. As he's now in the Black Bulls. Before he meets up with Yami and the others to go to the hideout, Wolf asked him if he was sure about this choice. The Black Bulls are probably the most disreputable Magic Knight squad in the not just known in the capital for being disreputable, but throughout the entire Clover Kingdom. As he states, yeah, but if we go there, then we won't have to really hide ourselves that much, right? Plus, I have a good feeling about that Yami guy, with him just smirking. As Kujo is on Asa's side on this. Wolf just states, very well, he didn't really seem that bad of a person, even if he does look somewhat threatening. With Asta laughing, stating, yeah, that might be a bit of an understatement. As he meets up with Yami, Finro, and Gordon, they go through the portal to get to the Magic Knight Squad base of the Black Bulls. As Asta opens the door, he just sees a bunch of crazy people. With a fireball going right at him, he goes intangible and avoids it. As Yami yells at his squad to calm down and introduces Asta. As Asta is then introduced to all the other Black Bulls, Yami tells Magna that he can go ahead. As Magna gets pumped up, stating that to Asta that they're going to do his baptism. As the physical portion goes better than in canon due to the fact that half ghosts have increased physical abilities. And a natural half ghost, I would imagine, has these abilities, though in a lesser state. Well, still in human form. So yeah, so now we get to the fireball portion. Asta pulls out his sword, getting ready, as uh, Magna just fires off a barrage of flame attacks, which he dodges easily. With Cujo and Wolf looking at this, thinking that, yeah, he got this. With this, Magna charges up a big attack to throw at Asta. With Asta then remembering that thing he accidentally did during the exam, using the flat of the blade, sending it directly back at Magna. Which afterwards we see Magna running toward Asta, stating that he's really awesome and impressed about what Asta can do. So, Tommy thinks as he remembers the feeling that he had when checking if Asta was really alive. He didn't sense any mana coming from him. He wonders if he could still fly, not to mention that blast he did and the sword he created. Doesn't add up. The reason why Yami didn't notice Wolf or Cujo, they're full ghosts, which means they don't have key to sense. But since Asta's half ghost, whether he's in his human form or ghost form, Yami would still be able to sense his key. So yeah, as we back up the camera to see a silver-haired girl looking down at their little celebration with Asta getting his robe. And this is where we'll be ending this part of the What If. Do hope you enjoyed. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell and make sure you set it on all for whenever I put out a new vid. With all that said, see you later.